Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and this is my mom, Ingrid.
Hi.
And we're going to show you how to bake a gluten-free tiger nut pie crust. Now, this is a pressed pie crust like you would use for, if you used crumbs, like graham cracker crumbs or saltine crumbs or cookie crumbs, right? But today we're going to use a tiger nut flour, and this stuff is amazing. Not only is it wonderful for the holidays, it's wonderful all the time. Just not for baking, but even for doing like dredging meat and things for dinner. So if you've never heard of tiger nuts before, they're not actually a nut. They're a tuber. They grow onto the ground like potatoes or carrots or beets, but they're nut-free. So this is what a tiger nut looks like. These are dried, and they are very kind of wrinkly little things. They look like a wrinkly chickpea or a wrinkled up nasturtium node if you're a gardener. Now, they have a beautiful sweetness to them, and they almost taste like coconut.
Yes.
Coconut-ish. They have a nice sweetness. So they're nut-free, they're gluten-free, these are vegetarian, vegan, organic, they're non-GMO, they're cholesterol-free, high in fiber. I mean, they're great for weight loss, they have resistant starch, they're good for paleo diet and the Whole30 diet. They're great for anyone on a celiac diet or if they have diabetes. And it's great for inflammation as well. Mom has arthritis and it's good for that. They're also prebiotic and antibacterial, among like a whole bunch of other things. Low in fat, the whole nine. Okay? These things are amazing. They are a definite superfood. So the flour is made by grinding these guys up really fine into a flour.
I like chewing on them just like that.
Usually you soak them overnight and you eat them like that as a snack, but I like them dry too. I chew on them dry.
They taste a little bit like coconut to me.
They do. So this is the flour all ground up, and look at how light and fluffy that is. Now it's a total epiphany for baking because you really can you can go bake sales with this stuff and no one's complaining. There's no nuts in here. It's amazing. They're wonderful, and it's so tasty. Okay, so very versatile. I'm using my basic recipe that I use for my cookie crumb crusts, okay, or my crumb crusts, except these are tiger nut flour, okay? 1.5 cups of the tiger nut flour go into my pie plate. I've sifted it as well just to make sure there's no lumps or clumps. And don't worry, this is gonna condense all down. And I have 1 tablespoon of brown sugar that I'm going to combine in here. Now you could use brown sugar or you could use regular white sugar. I've also preheated my oven on 350 degrees. Today we're making a beautiful blueberry pie. So we already have the pie filling ready and we don't need to bake it. Okay, so today we're using blueberry pie filling. You can use a store-bought one or one that you've made yourself, and this doesn't need to be baked.
No.
So today we are going to par bake our crust because it needs to be baked. Now if you were doing a pie that needs to be baked, such as maybe a pumpkin pie or something of that nature, you don't have to par bake this crust. Today we need to par bake it because the pie filling doesn't need to be. Okay, so you play the butter by ear a little bit. Everything is a little bit different whenever you're using different crumbs, etc. So I have 7 tablespoons of butter and it's melted here, but I'm going to add 5 to begin with, okay? I'm gonna need at least 5, and then if I need a little bit more, which I'm gonna be able to tell by the texture of what's going on, I may need to add a little bit more butter, depending, okay? So let's start with a couple tablespoons here.
I can already smell the flour.
Can you?
Oh yes, definitely.
Now that's 5 tablespoons, and I'm just going to use a fork and kind of run that through. You want everything evenly combined, and you can mix this right in here. You don't even need to grease the bottom of the plate or anything. You're looking for a dryish mixture, okay? You don't want it to be sopping wet. So it takes a little bit to work it in. Be patient. Don't add any more until you know what you're working with the first 5 tablespoons. If you want to use your hands, which I'm going to get in here in a second, it's always a good indicator.
And hands are so easy.
They're your best tool.
That's right.
You can break up that butter. So I've done a good job there at this point into it with my hands. So combine that more. There's so much butter in here that you don't have to worry about greasing the pan. This is working well. You want to make sure that it's going to be able to compress, so you're going to be able to feel that. This is almost like when you do pie crust with like a regular pastry crust. You can do it with your hands or you can do it with a fork, but it's easy to really see. You want to break up that fat in here.
And it's a fun job.
That's right. So it's going to feel dry, but as long as it compacts, you're good. Kind of like wet sand, the texture you're looking for. It's almost there. I might add just a little bit more butter. See, now that you can see I've got some good crumb going on.
That's right.
See? It kind of looks like wet sand, right? Let me show you that consistency. Okay? So you're gonna take a bit and just see if you can pack it. And I think I need just a tiny bit more butter. Maybe 1 more tablespoon and we're good to go. The tiger nuts are rather absorbent. When you soak them overnight, they almost double in size, I would say.
That's right.
So they can take a bit of liquid here. All right, work that in too, and I think I will be good to go.
Such an easy thing. Well, if you
easy.
have your pie filling already made, this is an easy way to put your pie together
Sure
quickly
is.
and without much bother. Everything happens right in the pie plate.
That's right. So you don't have to just make a blueberry pie. You could make any kind of pie you want. You could even do a lemon meringue pie like this with a crumb crust.
Yeah, even if you prepare your apples on the stove, you could make a lovely apple pie, and it would be fast. Sometimes, you know, dessert comes as a big surprise.
If you're having people just pop
Yes, and
You don't
to
have
do
pastry
this is
ready.
Very quick. This is very quick. Even if you have your pastry in the fridge and you're all ready to roll it out, it's still quite a messy job.
in. Yep. So you can see this looks just like wet sand. And if you grab a clump of it and squeeze it, you're gonna see it actually stays together, and that's what you want. Now, if you wanted to add other spices to this, like cinnamon, if you're doing a holiday recipe or something like that, or nutmeg, or whatever kind of spices you want, feel free. You could even use this as a savory pie crust,
That's what-
and not add the sugar, and just add the butter, and roll with it like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the back of my knuckles and press that into the bottom. You're gonna see it's gonna be really easy to do. So go ahead and try and make that nice and even on the bottom and the sides. Now you don't wanna make it too thin in the corners. A lot of people do that. And then your pie, when you slice it, it breaks apart at the back. So don't go too far into the corners, but you wanna make sure that those crumbs go up the sides. So try and be even. And that's all you need to do.
It's lovely.
Press that in.
If you were to add some savory spices to this pie crust, you could make a beautiful onion tart or a leek pie,
Or a quiche.
a quiche, or a chicken pot pie even. You could try that, getting your filling done on the stove and adding just the right amount of flour to your mix, and then putting it in one of these quick crusts.
And
Great.
with the little bit of coconutty flavor, you could even roll with that and make like a Thai chicken pot pie.
Right.
Coconut milk in there, and that would be good, Mommy. Okay, so roll that up the sides. You want to pack that in the sides as well, and so easy. Kids could do this.
Yes.
It's like making sandcastles.
Yes, it is. It's if it doesn't hold together enough to make a castle,
It's very forgiving.
you gotta add a little more something.
But it's very forgiving. I mean, if you screw up, you can just add a little more, or keep pressing until it works out the way you want it.
It looks good, Kim.
It's beautiful.
I'm looking forward to having blueberry pie for dinner.
Me too. For dinner? You're gonna have it for dinner, not
Yeah.
dessert? I like your style. This is
For tea time we'll have
tea
it.
time.
That's good.
This is a fast pastry crust, and if you're scared of making like official pastry, this is so easy. You could even do these for tarts, little tarts.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Voila! My pie crust is done. 350 degrees into the oven for 8 to 10 minutes, or until it's nice and golden and crispy-ish. Okay? You'll see us then. All right, this pie crust is done. All right, this has a nice little brownness to it. You can see it around the edges especially, and it's nice and firm. So now I need to let this cool before I put the filling in. And the filling's already done. So this is a really quick pie. Let this cool. It'll probably take, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so on a cooling rack to fully cool. All right, see you then. All right, so this is cooled off plenty. Nice, smells wonderful. And in goes our pie filling, okay? Or your pie filling, whatever you want to use. You certainly don't want it to overrun the top of the crust, and that'll settle as it goes. And I'm gonna put it in a cool place just to make sure that that pie filling just kind of solidifies up, and we'll eat that for dessert tonight. Wonderful. Well, we have a change of clothes because it's the next day. We had so much to eat yesterday. By the time we were ready to try this blueberry pie, I couldn't do any more sweets.
Me either.
So we're gonna do it today, and that's perfectly fine. It's beautiful. It's all set. It was in the fridge all night. You ready to try this?
Absolutely.
All right, Mommy. Let's do
Looks
it.
so good. Can't help it.
And look how well this crust
Oh, the crust is beautiful.
held together.
Perfect. You couldn't
Gorgeous.
ask for a more perfect piece of pie.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Me too. And cream cheese icing. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna almost taste like a cheesecake with
What?
this beautiful crumb base,
Right.
and the blueberry pie filling.
Absolutely.
Let me show you this pie. Look at that. It's beautiful. And look at that crust. Amazing. It's nice and crispy. And you see how we made sure that we had enough at the back so that it doesn't collapse on you. So make sure you've got enough in the corners of the pie plate, okay? And look how gorgeous this whole pie is holding up. It's lovely. All right, ready?
Okay.
Need a little bit of that cream cheese. Oh, I love it when you can actually break through the crust and it's not just soggy. You can actually hear it like a cookie.
That crust is like a cookie. That's gorgeous.
That's super good. Cheesecake is one of my favorite things, so this is cheesecake-esque.
The crust just melts in your mouth.
I just love.
It's almost like a shortbread.
I was gonna just say that. Now look at this crust, okay? I just cut a piece, but I want you to hear it. It cuts like a cookie. Look at that.
It's delicious.
It's an especially great crust for if you're using something, a very liquidy type filling. You know?
It'll stand up to just about anything. So good though. Oh my. Usually when you're making a pie and you're using a very runny kind of filling, you have to make up for that with a thicker crust.
Yes.
But you didn't have to do that with this. This
Not really.
is just perfect.
It's wonderful. I think because it's the flour and it's more dense than a cookie. You know what I mean? So it makes a beautiful crust. And you know, this is a gluten-free pastry.
That's true.
So great for the holidays for anyone that's got any kind of celiac problem. And it's nut-free. You didn't use nuts in the crust either or anything like that. It is really, really tasty. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna need another slice. So that's it. That's how you bake a gluten-free tiger nut pie crust. If you don't have a lot of confidence or you don't have a lot of time or you just want something easy and quick, this is the pie crust for you. You can fill it with whatever you want now, as soon as it cools, all right? What a wonderful ingredient Tiger Nuts flour is. Make sure you check them out online at Tiger Nuts USA for this flour and all of their amazing products that I've loved every single one. They're very versatile in the kitchen and you really can start baking a lot healthier than you used to. All right? That's it. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E, like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. Find my shows on iFood TV at my.fossum.tv/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. I also have a channel on Roku, Cooking with Kimberly, and I'm syndicated on Apple TV and Amazon and a few other places. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe, interact with us, and let us know what's going on in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye!